What did you like about the response, particularly in that second quarter?
Yeah, I thought it started late in the first with that group with Lindy, Isaiah, Trey, Mike, and Shai. That's the group that got the game kind of stabilized. Obviously, we made some shots there, but it was really like the defensive intensity needed to pick up. They made all those threes early, and I thought it was a byproduct of rhythm and physicality. We just weren't in the ball enough, and they got some confidence early. I thought that group was one that turned the game. Second quarter defense was great. Second half defense was pretty good. I thought they earned the stuff they got in the second half.
And Shai just continues to be great in the third quarter. He's averaging the third most points of any player in the third quarter since like 1996. What is he doing coming out of halftime to be so effective scoring?
You can ask him, but he's obviously a really good player that's playing 12 straight minutes most nights. So he's accumulating all the minutes you can get there. But I thought he had a nice balance tonight too. Like he had a cool 33. It didn't seem forced. Obviously did a great job of finding guys throughout the game. Good awareness, I thought, out of him of just how they were guarding him and where he could leverage his gravity.
And then Tuesday's game will be number 41 on the season for you all. Just was wondering if you could kind of reflect on the first half of the season to this point and maybe some growth spots, some things that you've really enjoyed seeing from your team.
I think we've definitely grown. I think the thing that we're pleased with is high level of professionalism, guys that attack the program and work, do so with humility, grow from all the experiences. There's a lot of ups and downs in the season. And I think it's important to point out that that mindset has been in place. It's not just this season, we've been honing that from the minute every one of these players has stepped in the door. And ultimately that's what we're going to double down on continuously as we move forward. We've got a long way to go, obviously. But those basic tenets are what, we're most pleased with to this point and what is most important moving forward.
Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic. This felt like the quintessential Kenrich Williams game. Can you speak to what he means to the team overall and just his play tonight?
He's just got great soul. He's just got, that X factor. He's just a really tough, authentic, team-first dude, that has a lot of equity with everybody that he touches. And just the integrity of that person is impressive. I think the fact that he's 28 years old and he's who he is a really powerful signal to the rest of the guys who are trying to find who they are, as people and as NBA players. And, we could talk, he made all the Kenrich Williams plays tonight, but what really I respect about him is that kind of intangible that I'm describing. And it's just, you can't put a price on the impact that has on the group.
And the play that you challenged, it looked like Kenrich gave you the go ahead, you should challenge this. Is that something that you even think about when he looks at you and says that?
Yeah, I tell those guys, I ask them, I give them credit. I asked Eugene a couple plays before if he fouled the guy. He said, yeah, I fouled him. They know you only get one, and they try to be honest there. And that's a secret weapon, with those plays. It's hard to get all the replays. You're in a time-sensitive situation. So when they're pretty convicted, it's not just him, it's all of them. And the game wasn't over at that point. That was an opportunity to get a possession back.
Yeah, kind of touched on it earlier, but you went with that shooters lineup a little bit, or a lot tonight, and kind of went with the shooters lineup the other night. What are you liking from that group outside of them giving you guys the energy you need?
Yeah, great gravity, on the court. And when you put Shai out there with them and his ability to draw a crowd, it really is a dilemma for the defense. That's kind of where it starts. But you need to make sure that the scoreboard can move in the right direction. You can't just sell out on one end of the floor. And the secret ingredient with that lineup is those guys compete. Lenny Waters tonight defensively, that was about as complete of a game as he's played. He was outstanding. Isaiah Joe competes. Trey has learned how to compete. He had he stole the ball from a big on a pass over the top tonight. Shai takes on harder matchups with that unit. He guarded Banchero the other night with that unit out there. And Mike, we've documented well that he's a competitor. And so that's, what I'd like to shine the spotlight on. Obviously, the shooting is the reason you think about it, the reason you do it. But what allows you to do it is those guys really compete.
8 turnovers tonight, 10 the other night. Just talk about how you guys are protecting the ball and valuing possessions more and more lately.
Yeah, it's not really like a protection mindset. We still want to attack. I think it's like an earliness of our plays. You know, when you make the early play and the simple play, you limit your turnovers. When you're late to those plays or, you're passing reactively to the defense, I think that's when you get in trouble. And I thought the guys, the last couple of games, have played a very simple offensive game. I thought, the first half, really from the last 16 minutes of the first half was as good from a process standpoint as we've played offensively.
Pierce Lawson, Valley Sports. You mentioned Lindy's night, and I know when he's with the Blue, his homework is on that defensive end. He's had a couple of games here where he's been really active just in terms of rim protecting and getting in passing lanes. Just how have you seen him uptick so far this season on the defensive end?
Yeah, I think he's shown him, Trey, and Isaiah have shown a great awareness of how they can round their game out as players. The reason they're in the NBA is the offense, obviously. But the way to stay in the NBA, the way to play in the NBA is you've got to have a rounded game. And those guys have done a hell of a job, with everything we've put in front of them. And Lindy's a great example. And we jerk him around a little bit, in terms of up, down, in, out, which I would actually argue builds mental toughness in these guys. But he just doesn't flinch. I mean, whatever we throw in front of him, he's ready for. And Wiggins, Amarui, Jay Will, those guys are all like that.
And it seemed like there were just a lot of hard-nosed plays. Now we talked about Kenrich's night, but a lot of guys with blocks, steals, getting passing, Shai finishing through contact. Just how big of an impact did those sort of just tough physical plays make tonight?
Huge. They're important every night. And the thing, you guys were asking before the game about Doncic being out and the psychological impact of that. And I thought we played like a team tonight that understood we had to earn the win, and that was a sign of maturity to me.
Kind of want to double down on what you just got through talking about. Jaylen Brown came in here last week and saying when they found out that SGA was a scratch, they kind of let down. That's a very veteran team that's played high stakes. It's the youngest team in the NBA when they found out Doncic was, and you just kind of alluded to it, but could you just go a little bit further about this very young team understanding the assignment still?
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to their maturity and their commitment level. And really, it's 0-0 mindset. It's 48-minute game. It's being where your feet are inside of the game. All the stuff, to Nick's question, that we've tried to been investing in, and that we'll continue to invest in. It shows up every night in different ways, and that's how it manifested tonight.
Josh picked up his fifth foul pretty early in the third quarter. You subbed him out and then brought him back in around the 10-minute mark. I just wanted to ask you about the process and decisions with things like that, where you obviously want to save him for later in the game, but you don't necessarily want to miss a window of getting him in earlier.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably the most aggressive team. Or I shouldn't say the most. I don't know that. We're a very aggressive team in terms of playing guys with fouls. We got a guy named Ezra who is in our data science bullpen, and that's where, analytics, they're like building computers. I mean, it's like rocket science in there. And I have no idea what they do, by the way. But Ezra, who works for us, a couple of years ago grabbed me and was like, why do coaches sit guys for foul trouble? And he kind of talked me through the rationale and how, a minute in the second quarter is equal to a minute in the fourth quarter. 2 points in the second quarter is equal to 2 points in the fourth quarter. And so that's kind of what started us down this path of playing guys through it a little bit. And what we've learned is that, some of that, like Josh didn't foul out tonight, played the last 10 minutes of the game, and you end up fouling the player out, if you get them earlier than that. So shout out to Ezra.
Anybody else? Kind of on that same note, Josh couldn't really get it going early and then got in foul trouble, but he came back and he hit 2 big shots. Does that kind of speak to where he's at from a confidence standpoint right now?
Well, when I put him back in at the 10-minute mark, I said, don't play the fouls. I said, play defense. If you don't play defense, then you might as well not be out there. And so I thought what helped him work through the game tonight was he got himself lost in the things he could control. His offense wasn't really going early. His defense wasn't going early. And I thought when he got back out there, he was locked into both of those things. And he allowed the game to kind of turn around for him. And I think that's a sign of a mature player. He's learning the length of the game in that experience, and obviously did a good job of it tonight.
They threw a pretty tough first punch there. Just what did you think of the way you guys were able to respond after that punch that they threw?
Yeah, we were good. I think obviously they're a good team. Have won a lot of basketball games the past couple of years. They know the way they want to play. and they're going to try to impose that. I think we did a good job of imposing our way a little bit more. Even though they got to a hot start and made runs throughout the game, we tried to play our way and try to do so no matter what.
Yeah, and speaking of just imposing your will, it seemed like there were just like a lot of hard-nosed plays, whether it was blocks or you finishing through contact at the rim and guys diving on the floor for loose ball. Just how important were those plays tonight?
Yeah, those plays are super important every night, and we know that we're a team that has to get those plays. It's something that we try to hang our hat on every night. We're going to be first to loose balls, first to offensive rebounds, and things like that. And that's something that I think we did a good job of tonight. We got to carry over every game for the rest of the season.
And last thing for me, wanted to ask you about Kenrich stepping into the starting lineup as your 5-man essentially, but he's just all over the floor, just a well-rounded game, seems to just do all the little things. Just what does he bring to this group when he's out there?
Yeah, I like describe Kenrich as like a hooper. He just knows how to play basketball. You can plug him in anywhere with any lineup. He's going to make the guys around him better. I think we saw that early in the game. He was really good, aggressive offensively, and then he brought the grit and defense and rebounding for the rest of the night. But when he's at his best, we are for sure at our best.
I just had a question about the next game. The next time you guys play is in front of a national audience. How excited are you and the guys for that game coming up?
To be honest, we haven't spoke much about it. I think for us, we just try to carry the good things over every night, and leave the bad things in the past. I think that's what we're focused on. Now it'll be on TV and it'll be fun for sure, but we're not focused on that.
Shai, you currently lead the league in and ones. You had a couple crazy finishes tonight through contact. I just want to ask you, what's the preparation for shots like that, where you're falling backwards, you're getting hit in the face, you're getting your arms grabbed? Like, how do you even prepare for stuff like that over the summer and the off season?
I do a lot of core when I lift and stuff like that. And then when I work out on the court, I like to replicate game situations, so that when I get out there, it's as comfortable as possible, and I've done it before. And usually, in the summertime, when I play one-on-one or when I'm playing with guys, I don't call fouls, so I'm used to playing through them.
Throughout the last couple of seasons, you put up big numbers, and guys around you have had tough shooting nights. Tonight, you had 3-4 guys that were, over 500 shooting, 3-pointers. And so whenever you got guys going around you and you're going too, just can you talk about the burden, maybe lift it, and you still be able to get in your game and still trust your teammates to knock down a shot when you kick it to them?
Yeah, I said this from the first day we came back in the summertime. Guys got better individually, and as a result of it, we're going to be better as a team. And I think we feel that every night. We have more trust in each other. Guys are just better at basketball and really put the work in over the summertime, and it's showing.
Shai, Brad Beal didn't play the other night. Luka didn't play tonight. Mark talked a lot about the mentality of not taking games for granted. But when the opposing star isn't playing, do you have to do anything differently or kind of keep yourself from being relaxed or anything like that?
I think for me, it doesn't change. No matter who's playing, I go into the game with the same mentality, same approach, same routine, and just try to be as consistent as possible with that. I think I'll get the best results doing so.
Kenrich, just your thoughts on the way you all kind of dealt with their first punch. Didn't seem like you all really wavered when they knocked down a bunch of shots early.
Yeah, we knew, coming into the game they were going to be super aggressive without Luka. They're going to make their runs. It's about sticking to our identity and just sticking to the game plan, and that's what we stuck to. So it's pretty good.
Can you tell me about the feeling out there on the run out? You dished it to Lou for a massive dunk, and they call timeout. Crowd goes crazy.
Yeah, it was a big time play. I feel like they were making a little run, and it was just a big play, man. I forgot who got the steal, but just tipped it out to Lou. He got the dunk, got the crowd into it. So it was a big time play.
Paris Lawson Valley Sports. Kenrich, this is the second game where you've gotten to the starting lineup as kind of the 5-man for the group. Just what's your mentality when you're out there, knowing that you're going to be going up against guys that are much bigger, and you got to hold your own down there?
Pretty much the same mentality as when I come off the bench. Just try to play physical, provide energy, use my quickness and my IQ. But it's kind of we do it together. So it's just not me down there. It's all 5. So shout out to the guys.
Just speaking of that, it's a lot of guys stepping up in terms of rim protection. Shai with a couple of blocks. Lindy had a couple of blocks tonight. Yeah. Guys just diving on the floor for loose balls. Just those sort of hard-nosed plays, competitive plays. Just how big is that, especially when you guys have been playing small recently?
Yeah, it's important. Those type of plays kind of determine the game. Those type of plays get the crowd into the game. Those type of plays, as you see, makes the other team call timeout. So those are big time game changing plays that we need, and just proud of the guys for stepping up.
Kenrich, we often talk about your hustle plays and doing the dirty work, but you're shooting a career high percentage from the field this season, north of 40% from 3. Like, what's gone into that kind of stepping off its offensive efficiency for you?
Pretty much just trusting, man, and just having confidence. My teammates are finding me, and I'm getting to my spots. I'm finding spots where I'm comfortable at, and it's just about kind of settling in and just trusting it.
Then I have to ask you about the game tomorrow night. What are your plans for watching it, and do you have a score prediction for us?
I'm just gonna watch it at the hotel. I'm super excited for the game. I've been following TCU all year, so hopefully we can get this one tomorrow. My score prediction, all I hope for is a win. All I hope for is a win. Going against a good Georgia team. But I know those guys are super excited to be in the game, and I know they're going to leave it all out there.
There's a couple Georgia folks on staff, Dave Bliss, Vanessa Brooks. Any friendly bets with them at all for this game?
Yeah, we're going to let y'all see that whenever we find out the winner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic. Asked Mark just about what you mean to the team as far as like a leader. The first thing he talked about is just your soul and what like you mean as a person to the other players on the team and to the staff.
Mm-hmm.
How much does it mean to you that they trust you as a leader here with this group?
Man, that's very important to me. It's more important than basketball to me. That's something I take pride in, just being a good character guy, being a guy that people can not look up to, but kind of see and kind of respect. That's something that I take pride in. So, them words, they mean something to me, and it definitely means a lot to me.
You and Trey have been playing a lot of one-on-one lately. Got a little animated yesterday. First, can you talk about how the competitiveness of those games, and then talk about how valuable it is guarding a guy like Trey, whose handle is extremely good, who's extremely quick?
Yeah, man, it's super competitive. Trey is probably one of, if not the best one-on-one player on the team in my eyes, him and Shai. So me being able to guard him translates to the game. Him being able to guard me, a bigger player, translates to the game. We're both super competitive. I think you seen yesterday, he got the best of me yesterday, and I want to keep playing. But it translates to the game, man. That type of competitiveness translates to the game, and that's something I look forward to kind of every practice, is just playing him one-on-one.
He said the series in 2023 is 1-1, but
yes,
he's the winner. He's won most of them overall. Do you think you're gonna?
Well, listen. 2023 was 1-1. That's all we're gonna leave it at. That's all we're gonna leave it at.
Shai tonight said he often describes you as just a hooper because you can do so many different things on the court. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
I like that assessment. As a basketball player, that's a key word and kind of describing yourself, like just a hooper, kind of do it all, try to just fill in whatever the team needs, like defense and just going out there trying to shoot and, doing whatever the team needs. That's what a hooper is, and I appreciate him saying that.